Welcome to Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle Calloway, founder and CEO of Revelio, innovative software and media solutions. The Tech with Heart is all about empowering entrepreneurs to embrace technology so that we can all be more effective and successful long term. And today, our topic is actually how can you grow your business network globally using WhatsApp? And we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Marc Jarrett, and he is a disruptive game changer, virtual power networker who has been extolling the virtues of virtual networking long before coronavirus ever came along. And he's created and curated 160 plus WhatsApp groups covering a wide range of industries and subjects. So he's actually leveraging this technology to facilitate the connections that matter the most, the human ones. So welcome to the Tech with Heart stage, Marc Jarrett.
Thank you, Michelle. Great to be here.
Yes.
And you're doing a great job in bigging up technology and its countless positives, because tech gets a bad rap sometimes. And you're highlighting the positives, which is a good thing.
So I just want a disclaimer here. The way that Marc and I actually met was over a video virtual conference networking event. And so here we are now becoming buddies, becoming pals, and we're together going to take this concept of using an already hugely, what is it, 4 billion you said? How many users are on WhatsApp?
Not quite that many, 2 billion. It's still a big number.
That's a huge number. So 2 billion people are already currently using WhatsApp, but in the United States, which is actually where it's founded, I know Marc will tell a little story about that, but in the United States where I'm located, most entrepreneurs are not using it to network. They're using it to just communicate with like small teams or whatnot. So let's start talking about that. Marc, how did you come to the realization that WhatsApp can be used for networking, and then share with us what you're doing now with WhatsApp?
Okay, so my first WhatsApp group was born about 6 months after the referendum that we had in 2016 to leave the European Union, otherwise known as Brexit. And then it occurred to me, hang on, there's some good human interaction going here. This is cool. And I was actually, at the time, I was a member of another WhatsApp group run by someone else. And I onboarded more people to that group than everyone else combined. So I knew how I had a skill for reaching out to and engaging with people. And then I decided to do it myself. And the first group I started was the Virtual International Pub, VIP, which is now full. Because the one thing I miss from corporate life, apart from the regular paychecks, of course, is something called banter. I'm not sure if that's a word that's known in the...
We banter. Yeah, we like to banter here.
Okay, so as you know, it's banter is small talk, chatting and whatnot. And then within that Virtual International Pub, it became evident that, you know, we were having business discussions and whatnot. So I started building out other groups. In fact, the first business themed group, if you like, was called Education. Well, I tried calling it Education on the back of Tony Blair's speech in 1997, but there wasn't enough room. Basically, I introduced two people who are involved in the educationalists to one another, and then once I'd done that, I engaged with another person involved in education, and I thought, hang on, I'll just introduce them to that group, and then that group has morphed and morphed and morphed, and now it's a rather special place. I now run 160 WhatsApp groups. Each group has got its own theme. So that might be construction, oil and gas, gold, real estate, mental health, automotive, you name it. There's a WhatsApp group for everything. And if there isn't, I'll just go ahead and create one. And in some ways, the more specialized and niche the subject matter is, the more likely there is to be a meeting of minds, which might lead to well, it's certainly leading to friendships and occasionally transactions. And when you think about it, Michelle, business boils down to people and trust. So what I'm doing is building and curating these ecosystems in which people feel safe to engage with one another. And it's a wonderful thing. I just love connecting people. I've been doing it all my life, and I've been extolling the virtues of virtual networking for many years now. And now it's the only way to network. But irrespective of the pandemic, it's clean, zero carbon footprint. It's free because we all pay for the internet anyway. It's an essential utility. But best of all is its globality. Because if you go to a networking event in person in Chicago, you're only going to meet people from the Illinois area. Whereas online, as you've seen in the Powerful Women group that you're in, the world is our oyster, Michelle.
Yes, actually, we after meeting Marc, I immediately took Tech with Heart to WhatsApp, and just even within my own community on WhatsApp, I'm already seeing new relationships blossom, new ideas being sprouted, and it's just been amazing to watch. And I know that you've seen business relationships grow from this model, and I don't know if you have any numbers to throw at us as far as how many people have made deals that have taken their business and growing, but that's what networking is all about. Is you don't know who you could be sitting next to, right? In a WhatsApp group. You could be like, oh, wow, I didn't know so-and-so was in here. Wow, can I meet with you? Can I talk with you? And you could be exposed to somebody who's just like 10 levels above you. And maybe that's the person you've been looking for. So,
well,
right.
It's funny you should say that. Diversity and inclusion is important to me. And in that virtual international pub I told you about, Nouriel Roubini is in there. He's one of the world's leading economists. His nickname is Dr. Doom. Top $100,000 a speech kind of guy. But there's also someone in there who's in a refugee camp. So talk about an eclectic, electric, dynamic bunch of people. So so diversity and inclusion is important to me, as is helping women. I can't understand why only 3% of venture capitalists are women. Things have really improved in my lifetime, but evidently we still have a way to go. So you're in the Powerful Women group, but I've also got a handful of other groups aimed at women, like Women Engineers Unite, and venture capital, women in venture capital, etc. So yeah, these forums act as a matchmaking a conduit, really, between LinkedIn, which I sometimes call the world's least social network, and places like Zoom and Remo. For those of you that don't know what Remo is, I helped launch it last year, and it's like Zoom on steroids. Have you used it, Michelle?
Yeah, I've been to an event on Remo, and what it does is it provides you more of a virtual environment in which you can see that there's different tables that you can sit in, and yeah, it's really, yeah. I really enjoyed it. I felt it was like the next level above Zoom. And I'm a big advocate towards virtual networking. I actually am partnering up with somebody on the Tech with Heart Foundation side that's doing 3D virtual environments in which you have a full-fledged avatar that acts as you in a virtual environment, and it's going to be perfect for corporate events.
Wow!
Yeah,
bring it on.
Yeah,
we'll
bring
be
it on.
smelling each other soon.
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, so I'm very excited about where I'm seeing networking go. I know Clubhouse launched, and that's huge. It's happening in the US right now, and we're going to bringing on an expert to talk about that. So I don't want to derail from WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is also an untapped resource, like you were saying, of global networking with movers and shakers. And that's what we all want to do, is we want to get in a room where we feel safe, so that, like you mentioned, the trust factor. Well, if you're interested in joining our Tech with Heart group on WhatsApp, reach out to us. You can reach out to me at techwithheartnetwork.com, join our mailing list, reach out to us on Tech with Heart Network on Facebook, join our group there. And we also are on Alignable, Tech with Heart, so we're everywhere. So reach out to us if you want to be a part of this amazing community of forward-thinking, heart-centered entrepreneurs who are gravitating towards incorporating newer and emerging technologies into our businesses, so that we're on the forefront of the trends rather than way behind the trends. We always want to make sure we're staying in front of things, because that's where the most momentum happens. You get to get in there, you get to be seen as a thought leader in your industry much quicker before it becomes oversaturated. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen on WhatsApp. I'm happy to be there as a leader and to start my network there, and happy to be amongst these other powerful women. I've already got some scheduled, connections where we're going to meet face to face and see how we can collaborate, cooperate, and support one another in our business ventures.
Fantastic. So WhatsApp is pretty much ubiquitous here in Europe and in India and elsewhere. The one country that doesn't use WhatsApp so much, as you pointed out at the top, it's the United States of America. So there's a huge irony of that. It's only 1 in 5 Americans use WhatsApp. And when they do, it's when their family members or friends are overseas. I use WhatsApp primarily for texting. The thing is, the keyboard on a smartphone is tiny. So if you use it on your computer, which you're now doing, it's much more effective that way.
Which I really love. Can I just speak to that a little bit? Because for those of us who are doing business, more often we're doing business on our computers when we're at our desk. And so the beauty of WhatsApp is that there is a desktop version that just keeps right in line with the mobile version. So yeah, you could be completely having a conversation with somebody, just popping over to the WhatsApp tab on your computer. But then, hey, if you need to head to the store for a second, you can continue the conversation with them on the mobile without missing a beat. That's really huge.
Right. And the free calls and video calls are a bonus.
Exactly. So those of you who aren't aware of what WhatsApp is, because maybe you don't have an international audience or friends that you need to be able to communicate seamlessly with without costing you a grip. WhatsApp is how long has it been out, Marc?
It's been out for several years now. Facebook now own it. They also own Instagram, and it's become the world's #1 messaging platform.
Yeah, it's a communication platform. So those of you who don't know, it's called WhatsApp, WhatsApp. It's free in the App Store to download. And you can also, like we were talking about, go to whatsapp.com or something like that and get your desktop version of it.
It's web.whatsapp.com.
web.whatsapp.com and download it, and then seek me out. You can private message me if you're watching this on any of our social networks, and I'll hook you up. I'll invite you into our Tech with Heart room, and then I'll also introduce you to this amazing man that I'm interviewing right now, because Marc he's the leader, he's the organizer, the facilitator of, what did I say, 160 plus WhatsApp groups?
160 groups in total, yes.
So yes, if you want to branch out and expand your networking, he is a great person to get in contact with. You can get in contact with me to get in contact with him, or you can contact him directly. We're partners now. We're going to have a lot of fun opening the world to business owners to be able to grow and expand their networks and grow and expand their businesses. This is huge. It's like your own stage.
Being able to do business online is crucial for survival, especially during times of social distancing. So how do you survive and thrive in the sea of digital noise? It's a lot like fishing. You need to know who your perfect customer is so that you can use the right kind of lure to attract them. We help you catch your perfect customer and retain them for future sales through highly converting websites, influencer mobile apps, getting you featured in the news and on TV. Hi, my name is Jerry Bowden, U.S. Army veteran and president of Revealio Software Solutions. Our goal is to help you rise above the competition, be seen as an expert authority in your industry, and embrace technology to stay competitive for long-term success. It's more affordable than you may think. So reach out to us at revealio.com and together we will make your business come alive.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to share with those entrepreneurs, especially in America, as far as getting the head around the idea of using it as a networking tool versus just a communication tool?
Well, thankfully, the New York Times picked up on WhatsApp's value as a business tool last month. And that really has helped me in my cause when I'm reaching out to Americans. And when I do, it totally changes their world, literally. It opens their eyes to a whole new world. And it's wonderful watching them. I mean, as you've seen, WhatsApp itself isn't actually that complicated. I prefer WhatsApp to Facebook itself. Facebook, for me personally, some people love Facebook. Personally, I think Facebook is too sophisticated in a way. It's so, every time I go there, it's like so many red buttons with numbers and so much happening. Whereas WhatsApp is actually relatively straightforward. Would you agree, Michelle?
It is. I've noticed that it uses phone numbers for the identity, and I'm a more of a visual person, so I would prefer to see a profile picture along with the phone number and perhaps more of the name rather than the number to show up as like the differentiator between who's talking inside of the group. But it's just a different user interface. And I just also want to share with those of you who are watching or listening that Marc here has created an entire business model around guiding and leading and continuing to act as your connector. On your behalf, he'll go out and he'll seek perfect relationships and connections for you. That's his business model. So we will be sharing with you how to get a hold of Marc. But if you also need a tutorial or a little hand holding, that's another thing that he's there to help with, is to help make sense of it. It's a different platform, but it's very simplistic, actually, like he was saying, but there are some nuances that you will have to adjust to. But don't let that be the thing that keeps you from blowing up your business, because that's why Tech with Heart exists. We're here to help you, guide you. Marc and I will probably be doing some webinars in the future, have come in and we'll have QA time for you. So I'm glad you're listening to this right now, because this is in a way kind of cutting edge, even though it's been around for a while. The concept of using it as a networking tool in the United States is new. So we're excited to have somebody like Marc on our team now, and moving forward, we're here to support you as you grow. What do you say, Marc?
I say that sounds great. And I did touch on LinkedIn earlier on. LinkedIn actually plays quite a key role in all of this virtual networking, because when people join the groups, I ask them to say who they are, what they do, who they would like to meet, a fun fact, and to include their LinkedIn URL. Why? Because if I look at your LinkedIn, I can see immediately your career history, what you do, what university or school you went to. It's basically an online resume. And did you notice when you joined the Powerful Women group, you got loads of invites to connect on LinkedIn, right? So yes. The two benefit each other, but the communication on WhatsApp is much more instant than on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, there's always a lag in the communications. So WhatsApp is the ideal conduit between LinkedIn and platforms like Zoom and Remo, where you can actually hear and see the people. I mean, ultimately, networking boils down to getting a one-to-one, you know, to meet other human beings. And that need, Michelle, is greater now than it ever has been, because we are human beings. We are social animals. And the UK went back into lockdown yesterday, and we're all holed up at home, and it's not normal, you know. But irrespective of the pandemic, this is a great way to meet new people. And there's a lot of people out there that don't know that virtual networking is a thing, and they don't know how to start.
Yeah,
And
so
that's my job, is to show them.
yeah, so let's talk a little bit of how to start. So obviously getting connected with you or I is a great place to
Yeah.
start. But then
Yeah.
after you're in, it's really super important to go back to networking etiquette. When you enter a room full of potential partners, potential clients, potential friends, people who could, you know, really elevate your business because they may know somebody. I mean, think about how would you like for somebody to enter a room that you've been a part of for a while? Do you want them to just blast, you know, like promotion, like, hey, you need what I have kind of thing, without having had an opportunity to get to know each other and to make a name for yourself? It's super important to enter a room with your confidence in hand, but also with the intention of building friendships and relationships first before you really roll out too heavy what you're throwing out there as far as benefits for your services. I think that it's super important to go in with that right intention. Wouldn't you say, Marc?
Absolutely. So in casual conversation in the groups, if the subject of tech for good, or technology generally, comes up, I will take a screenshot of that and send it to you privately. And then that way you can then dive in at the appropriate point. And then it's social selling, if you like. And selling nowadays is terribly unfashionable, and people don't like it. I know I don't. And as I said just now, business boils down to people and trust. So once that's there, then we can enter into commercial transactions with one another.
Yeah, I think so. So I just wanted to put that out there because sometimes people come in and they just, all they want is to get. And I know that there's a lot of business owners that are really hungry right now. They need sales. That is definitely, it's very off-putting when you come in with the intention of getting. It's very warm when you go in with the intention of just showing up, making friendships and supporting others. And in that you will receive back good connections and possibly even, you know, referral partners or clients. So let it go in, you know, and be a human first. That's what Tech with Heart. You know, we use the technology as the platform. We use the technology as the efficient systems, but we also need to make sure we're behaving well as humans, going in with a high EQ, so that we are meeting people on a higher frequency of like, hey, let's put this out there. Let's manifest goodness and support one for one another.
I was told recently that I'm a go-giver. We've all heard of the term go-getter, but apparently I'm a go-giver, and it's true. I just love giving, sharing, and helping people.
WhatsApp is where it's at, you guys. WhatsApp, let's all go WhatsApp together. Let's network, Tech with Heart, join ours to start, and then meet with Marc, find out what other groups you would be a great fit for. He'll hook you up. Marc, where can people go to connect with you?
Best way to reach out to me, perhaps not surprisingly, is on WhatsApp itself. So that's all backed up by underpinned by the telephone number. And my telephone number is plus for the UK. 44 is the UK, plus 44 7906 786505. So I'll repeat that. That's 44 for the UK, and then 7906786505. Failing that, look me up on LinkedIn, Marc with a C, Jarrett, Jarrett. And if all else fails, email me. But I'm not a huge email fan. But my email is Marc Jarrett, all one word, @gmail.com.
And then you also have a website so they can learn a little bit more about you as well, don't you?
Sure, virtualpowernetworking.com. And if any of your listeners and viewers need any help in the UK, I help US companies and Canadian companies, companies from outside of the UK expand into the UK, and also Germany. I'm half German, I speak it fluently. I've got an enormous network in Germany itself. And yeah, Germany remains Europe's largest and richest market.
Well, that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. That's a little aside. I didn't know that about you. So what was it that you were going to give people as far as the free gift for reaching out to you?
15-minute telephone stroke Zoom stroke remote call or meeting where I can explain the basics of what needs to be done and the methods and techniques of virtual networking at no charge.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for giving that gift away, because I know how much it's made a difference already in my world. So I look forward to hearing stories about how, you know, you've been able to help others grow their networks just by them tuning into this Tech with Heart show. And we want to thank you right now for tuning in. And if you are finding yourself interested in becoming or being positioned as an expert in your industry, and you feel that you would add value back to an entrepreneurial small business audience, please reach out to me at techwithheartnetwork.com. We can see if it's a good fit. You're going to join our network. You can join the foundation, which is a 501c3. So you would be supporting entrepreneurism by being a participant with us in all these events that we're going to be hosting. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Marc, thank you so much for showing up all the way from the UK. Thank you for your expertise and for connecting us all across the globe.
You're welcome, Michelle. And the fact that I'm 4,500 miles away from you in some ways irrelevant, because recent events have shown us the world is flat, as Thomas Friedman pointed out in his book, and it's an equal playing field now, and fantastic. We can now compete with the big boys and the big girls, and yeah, looking forward to facilitating those connections and making those introductions, Michelle.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you have a wonderful and very successful 2021. Thank you. Take care.